Now in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to build inner joins and outer joins. I'm using a little database to put together I call PTC Fitness, and here's the ER diagram. I can see I've got a bunch of customers. Customers have a one-to-many relationship between trainers. One trainer has many customers. Customers have weight recordings. I see I've got one customer with many weight recordings. And then I have a training session that links between customers and training sessions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to link between customers and weight recording and show the customers' names and the weights they've walked through. I'll also show customer names and the trainers that they work with. And then I'll find trainers without customers and customers without trainers. All right, so let's build a new query. Let's take a look at my customers table. I have 1,000 customers in my table. So let's look at the first 10. And we can see I've got names, starting weight, their goal weights, how tall they are in inches, and their trainer ID. Now all my data was generated randomly, so there are a couple of customers whose starting weight is less than their goal weight. It's just random data. Let's look at my trainers. So trainer number 1 is Olivier Bergin. Number 2 is Napoleon Duran. All this stuff is randomly generated from Mockaroo. So I see that Addie has trainer number 6, and trainer number 6 is Agata. I want to display that on my screen, and that's where joins come into play. When you have a relationship between tables, you can use those to pull table data from each table and make one cool query. So I'm going to display customer's first name, last name, and trainer's first name and last name. So I got select first name and last name from customer. Execute this. Oh, it's customers. Oops. And here they are. And told you I got 1,000 of them. So looking at my trainers and customers database, I'm going to have a problem with these first names. I'm going to come back to this in a second. Let's take a look at customers to weight recording. I want to list the dates they've listed weights and what their weight was. So I want the date and the weight. Now it's going to be angry at me because it doesn't know what date and weight are. So my customers is going to join, and the table is called weight recording, on customers. And here you find whatever the primary or whatever the foreign key primary key relationship. In this case, it's cust ID to cust ID. So it's typically the relationship will be primary on one side and not primary on the other, but they'll typically have the same name. So this is each weight they've recorded. Let's add here a name, and then let's put in starting date. So let's look at their weight loss. So I'm doing a little math there. Look at that. You can see how much weight they've lost from the beginning of each week. So Addie lost 10, 15, 21 pounds, and then Addie took a step back and gained a few. That happens. Ron stayed the same for a couple weeks and then continued to lose weight. This is joins. Without joins, I have to go back and forth between them. All right, let's go back to my problem of trainers. Since I have first name and last name in both tables, I need to be specific. So let's set this up. Now, when you pick these, you set primary key equal to foreign key. It doesn't matter whether you do customers first or trainers first. It really doesn't matter in the slightest. So I need some fields here. If I put star, I get outputs. And now I have the combination of first name, which one is which, so I set this up. So I put first name here. It's going to be angry at me. And the reason it's going to be angry is ambiguous column. It means it doesn't know which table to pull that from. First name and last name are in both tables. So you specify. And you do table dots. And then perhaps custom owners, that's good spelling. And then perhaps we'll give it a field name. So now I run this query. And I see Addie's working with Agata, Ron's working with Axel, Norin's working with Agata. Maybe I want to organize this. All my Olivier's together, Napoleon's, Juliet, etc. All right, now this can get a little unwieldy. I'm going to show you how you'll see this online. Go back to this. But what you'll find online is a lot of people use shortcut names. And they'll rename customers to be Cus or C or whatever you want. And then once you rename, you have to use them throughout here. And likewise, when I go to pick these names, rather than customers dot, I can just use the shortcut name. You don't have to do this, but it does make your code a little less cumbersome. You will find this a lot online. Stack Overflow does this. Most of the websites do this particular shortcut. It's the same output. It's just you have less typing. All right, these are all examples of inner joins, or your most common join. You might find people writing it as inner join. That's fine. Inner is assumed in SQL Server Management Studio. You may join as many tables as you want. So if I take this join I have up here to weight recording, I could add it here. And I can put up here the rest of this. And now I've joined two tables together, multiple joins. And we see that Addie, while they worked with Agata, lost some weight. Noreen, while they worked with Agata, lost some weight. All right, so those are inner joins. Again, your most common types of joins. They allow you to take matching information to customers and match it to trainers and pull back related data. If you do this wrong, if you forget to join, here's what's going to happen. So I'm going to pull this line. Okay. I'm not going to join them, I'm just going to list them. So the SQL stops yelling at me, so it must be right. Output 15,000 rows. What happened was I have 1,000 customers and 15 trainers. Without a join, SQL Server lists every customer matched up to every trainer. So the first customer is listed at the 15 trainer. The second customer is 15 trainer. You see that here. All my customers are listed, and then eventually the second customer is listed. That's called a Cartesian product, and that's a mistake. If you're using more than one table, you have to join them. All right, so we found customers that have trainers. We found matches between customers and weight loss. We've basically built inner joins. What I want to do now is I want to do an outer join. An outer join will allow you to find unmatched. What you see here, I've got the output from a outer join query. It's going to show me that trainers 11 and 15 don't have any customers. That's an important thing to find. You have a salesperson without without a customer, that's a bad thing. So let me show you how I pulled this off. First, let's verify this. I'm going to take a look at the trainer IDs in customers. So distinct is, pull out the unique ones. We have 1,000 customers. I won't need to see, 800 of the twos. So execute this. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is skipped, 15 is skipped. So this tells me which trainers exist in my database. I can, with a small table like this, easily extrapolate and say, okay, well, if 11 and 15 aren't here, that means 11 and 15 don't match. But if I had several hundred trainers and their primary keys weren't this obvious, where they're numeric 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if they were something like their username, there's no way I'm going to be able to identify that visually. So I'm going to build what's called an outer join. So I'm going to start. I'm going to put the trainer ID in the cust ID. Trainer ID is from trainers. What I'm trying to find here is I'm trying to find trainer IDs without a customer ID. So start with the normal inner join. So I run this, I get my 1,000 lines of output again. And this doesn't tell me anything. I get 1,000 rows, it doesn't tell me any trainer IDs that don't exist. So let's now modify this. Left outer join will pull everything from the left side of the join and matches to the right. Right outer join will pull everything from the right side of the join, which would be customers, and that match with trainers. Full outer join will pull everything from trainers, everything from customers, and the things that don't match. I care about what items in the trainers table don't match customers. So I'm going to do a left outer join. And I run this. I had 1,000 rows to begin with. I now have 1,002 rows. Those 2 rows are those 2 trainers we already identified. They're not in the database, 11 and 15. I scroll to the bottom. There they are, 15 and 11. Well, I don't like that output. I don't want to scroll through 1,000 rows, so I'll do a where clause here. Where cust ID is null. Now I'm going to run this. I see that 15 and 11 do not have a customer ID anywhere in the customer table. So this tells me what I've already verified up here, that trainer 15 and trainer 11 need some peeps assigned to them. These are the types of queries where you run when you hear something like find all the products that have never been sold, or find all of the teachers who don't have a class. It's that don't have. It's a find unmatched query. And it utilizes this diagram between customers and trainers and finds stuff here that's primary that's not reflected over in customers. Alright, so in this video, we have used an inner join, which is your common join, which allows you to build one-to-many relationships between tables. And we looked at outer joins, which are kind of weird, and you'll use those whenever you want to find unmatched. And I always do left outer joins. You could also do right outer join, just flip-flop trainers and customers. It works the same way. I just think left outer join. Alright, so good luck to you, and thanks for listening.